Hi everyone. Am I audible? You can write in the chat, guys, whether I am audible or not. Hi Kamal. Good evening. Uh, Guys, can you help me? Like whether okay. Thank you, Kamal. We'll wait for another couple of minutes. Like people are joining the session. We'll wait for another few minutes, and then we are going to start the session. Hi, Mehak. Hi, hi. By the way, guys, did you all guys attended the assignment? You guys got the access for the assignment and able to complete it? You can write in the comment, guys. Kamal, Mehak. Uh, okay, submitted. Hi, hi, Nitesh. Okay, okay. Got it, got it, got it. So this is day two and the final day of today's Python bootcamp, basically Python bootcamp. And today we are going to deep dive a bit about more about Python, and we are working on the project as well. So we'll start the session in another 1 or 2 minutes. Meanwhile, people are joining. Okay, if you guys have any doubt, you can ask here or you can drop in the WhatsApp group as well. Either it could be related to assignment or you're not able to access the assignment, anything. Okay, and just a minute. Let me check one thing. Okay, cool. So let me invite Dhiraz sir in, and we'll start. Then we'll start with the session. Okay. So hi sir, am I audible?
Hi, Saskar. Yeah, you're audible.
Hi sir, how are you?
Doing great, Sanskar. How are you?
I'm doing great, but Sunday as so I sir Sunday तो होता ही है.
Yeah, Sunday. It's a bit
I
lazy
guess
day. Yeah.
I guess हमारे students भी थोड़ा सा Sunday मना रहे हैं तो okay. Okay, so we'll start with the session, sir, today. मतलब before getting into the entire session today, मतलब थोड़ा सा briefing about कि हमने कल क्या past में cover किया and what are all things we need to keep in mind जो हम आज करने वाले हैं वो help करेगा उस चीज़ में इस टाइप से.
Right, right. So basically, our focus is on creating a project over here. The minimal things that we require to create that project over here, we had the discussion over those things yesterday, right?
Right.
Few more things that we're gonna be using in the project, we're gonna be doing in today's class. Okay. So it's more like a practical approach that we are following, that not just theory, but we are also doing some practical, some hands-on experience, some building something that you can show off in your resumes and all. So we have just discussed the fundamentals yesterday. We have just discussed what are variables, data types, functions, conditions, right? Loops. They were very essential for you to, make up a simple project in Python. And also, if you want to proceed further in your journey in, some advanced Python concepts or maybe into the DSA side, right? So all these things are required over there. So you just have a quick revision. You just have the clarity of the you know,
Right.
of those topics over there. And I hope you guys understood, all the people, those who are in the class or those who will be watching. I hope everything is clear. Uh, Feel free to drop anything in the chat that you feel something is not clear, right? So I'm reading the chat. Uh, so yeah, good evening, everyone. Welcome.
Good
So
evening.
yeah,
Before moving like with the sessions, like just a quick question, मुझे random ये question hit हुआ था. Like how exactly projects are important? मतलब एक portfolio के लिए projects कितना important होता है? Respective to any domain, let's say Python, data structures, Java, C, anything.
yeah,
So
got it.
like
See,
कितना importance होता है सर?
how I try to portray this is as maybe you have a certification, maybe you have a degree, right?
Right.
Maybe you have a whatever the proof that you have. the paper here, right? That's not the proof that you know the things. That's the proof that you have attended the classes, right?
Right.
The proof is you know something is the project. So if you want to showcase something that you have the practical knowledge of some concepts over there, the only way, the major way to show that is building something out of that particular thing that you have learned, right? So I guess for me, the utmost priority is your portfolio that you can show off to the people, right? Uh, I guess even in like the modern hiring and the modern recruitment agencies and the HR part, they are more concerned about the practical knowledge of the students rather than the certification. Like it is necessary. It is like it is also like they do consider the certification, but in some companies, they are more concerned about how practically, how much you have the practical knowledge of that concept. So how will you show the practical knowledge? Via the projects. So I feel they are very important.
Got it. Got it. Got it, sir. So then we can start with the session. As you mentioned, projects are important. So
Yeah,
we are working upon the projects, and if students have any doubt, they can ask in the comment, okay, and we
sure,
will be
sure.
picking that out as well. Over to you,
Yeah.
Dhiral, sir. You can share the screen. I
Okay.
will
So
present.
I'm just gonna share my screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, if you have any doubts, okay, you can ask in the comment as well. And one more thing, please attend your assignments, which is very important, and that is a part of your certification. If you guys really want to have the certificate for this particular boot camp, attend the assignments and projects, and then you are good to go to have your project. Yeah. Uh, Over to you, Therasa.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So guys, first of all, this was a project that we have been we shared with you guys yesterday. So it was just a very simple, interesting game that we asked you to create. I'm just gonna, now I hope you guys have submitted it, but if you have not, I'm just gonna give a quick hint about this, how we can create this game, how the things are working over here, just to help you guys out, right? So basically, the assignment was mentioning over here is you have to create a fun little game where you challenge yourself to guess a secret number. So I already did have a discussion with you guys yesterday also about this game. You have to create a game in which the computer will think of a number between 1 and 100. Okay. So the computer is going to store some random number with it. So every time you run the program, there will be a random number assigned to the computer in a variable, right? So you have to guess the number. And what we you need to create over here is that the game starts with the computer randomly selecting the number between, okay, so one random number will be assigned in the variable, then you will be given a prompt to guess the number, and you have to basically guess it in between range 1 and 100. And then if you guess a number, the number is too high, gonna get too high, try again. If the number is low, you're gonna get too low, try again, right? And if you guess it right, you will get a big congratulatory message, whatever the message you want to display. And once you guess the number finally, it is also going to show you that how much attempts you have taken to display that number, right? So I'm just going to give you guys a quick overview that how you can create such projects over here. It is a very good project that you can build and you can show, right? So I'm just going to create a method over here. Let's say I'm just going to call it number guessing game. Okay. So basically, first of all, I have to create a variable that will be the random number will be generated, and the random number will be stored, right? So first of all, I'm just gonna say there is a variable. Let's call it secret number. Okay, and this secret number is gonna store some random number. Now, how to generate random number in Python? So basically, we have this method over here, random dot and then random int, right? That is basically available in some other library. So whenever you want to import something in Python, we can import some other modules with the help of this import keyword. Okay, so I'll be importing one module over here. This is random. Okay, with the help of this module, this is having this function over here, random dot this one. Okay, so I'm going to be using this function over here, and I need to pass a range between which I will be guessing the number. So I'll say 1 and 100. 1 and 100. So this is the range in which I'll be guessing the numbers over here. Okay. So first of all, what I'll do is I will first of all gonna be creating. I'm gonna be displaying a message over here. Let's display a message. Welcome to the number guessing game. First, this message will be displayed to the user, and then I'm gonna be displaying something like I am thinking of a number between 1 and 100. Okay, so this message will be displayed over here. So now I will be creating a loop. Like I will be asking the user to input the number, and the user is gonna input the number again and again and again. So this is gonna get this is gonna keep the loop is gonna keep repeating until the number has been guessed, right? So what I'll do is I will first create a maybe a variable. Let's call it guessed. Okay, so the variable is guessed, and initially it will be false. Okay, and I'm gonna be uh, I'm gonna be saying that when the number has been guessed, I'm gonna make this loop as true, right? This variable as true, right? So this loop is gonna run until this while not guessed. Until the value is not so until the value of this is false, this loop will keep getting like it is just gonna keep running like that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first take the user input. So if the user has not guessed it correctly, I'm going to take the user input. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm just going to create a variable. Let's call it guess. And I'm going to take the input in the form of integer. So we have already this part is we have already discussed this part yesterday. So I'm going to ask the user enter your guess. So the user is going to enter the number over here. Okay. And I also need to keep the tracks of the attempts. So whenever the user input something, I would be incrementing the attempt by one. So maybe I'll just create one more variable over here. Let's call it attempt. Okay. Attempts maybe. And initially it will be zero. Initially the attempts will be zero. And when the user guess some number, because at the end I also need to display how much attempts the user has taken. Na? So I'm just gonna increment the attempts by one. So I can use the that operator we discussed yesterday plus equals to. So it is going to add one in the current value of the attempt. So if the attempts are let's say five, and he again input the number, so it will be five plus one, six, like that. So I'm going to increment it this way. Okay. So now I'll say that okay. So this is how the first we will get the we'll give the user the prompt to guess the number. Then I will say if the number that the user has guessed, if that is less than one, okay, or the number the user has uh, guessed, if it is greater than 100, this is the range inside which the number should be there, right? If that is greater than 100, in that case, what I'll do is I will just simply print that this is not a valid number, okay? So I'm just going to print something like, please guess a number between 1 and 100. Okay, so I'm just gonna give a prompt to this. Okay, next up, I'll say elif. Okay, so elif, if the number that has been guessed, if that is less than the secret number, the computer has generated, the spelling is wrong. It should be secret. Okay, if this is less than the secret number, then I'm gonna give the prompt to the user that the number that you have guessed is too low. So I'm just gonna say print too low. Try again. Okay. elif, I'm going to say if the number that has been guessed, if that number is greater than the secret number, if that is greater than the secret number, that means I'm just going to give the prompt to the user that too high. Okay, too high. And I'm just gonna like write again over here, try again. Okay. So this part over here is basically when the user is wrong. What if the user is right? Then he is gonna come in the else block. Okay. If the user is right, then I'm gonna come to the else block over here. Now that means the user have correctly guessed the number. So if the user have correctly guessed the number, first I will make this boolean as true. I'm going to say, okay, the user has guessed it correctly. I'm going to make it true over here. Okay. And I'll just print some message for the congratulations, something like congratulations. Uh, you can write some message over here, right? You can say that you have guessed the number. So I can display the number over here. So if I want to display the number that has been guessed by the that was created by the user, I can basically create a placeholder. Now, how do I create a placeholder in this? I can instead of this, I can basically make it a write f over here. Basically, this is like formatting the string over here in Python. Okay, so I can create a formatted string, and over here I can put a placeholder. So whatever the value of the secret number would be, that is gonna come over here like this. Okay, so then I'm just gonna say, yeah, it is gonna come over here. And then I can also say something like uh, secret number. And then I can also display the attempts that the user has taken. So I'm gonna say attempts. Att- uh, so user has taken these many attempts to guess the number, right? So yeah, I guess that is it. Okay. Now what I'll do is I will now try to run the program. Okay. So this method that I have created over here, I can call this method over here. So, or maybe I can do it in a different way also. I'll just tell you the different way. How can we do it in the Python? So if I run the code over here, it is going to say enter your guess. I'm going to say my guess is 50. So too low. So that means I have to guess higher. So I'm going to say 60. Again, I'm going to say 70. Too high. So it is between 60 and 70. I'm going to say 65. Again high. So I'm going to say 63. Again too high. Okay, 62. Congratulations. You have guessed the number 62 in 6 attempts. So I have created this game in which I need to maybe put some space between this. Okay. Now this will look fine. Okay. So I have this thing over here that I'm guessing the number in this much attempts, and I'm like able to uh, this is some random game and user can uh, play around, and you can just be more creative with this. You can add more functionalities, maybe add some characters later on. Okay, so this is a simple game that we have created. We will be sharing the code with you also later on, but this is just I have also covered the assignment over here. So those people who were struggling with the code and all, you guys can take a hint from here. It's very simple. Okay, cool. So I hope things are clear. I hope you guys have understood this. If there is any doubt, you can ask in the chat also. If not, we can be moving to the next part. In this next part, we will be creating uh, a project. Okay. So we're going to be creating a project in which we will be discussing how to create an expense tracker, right? So expense tracker is basically like a project in which you will be creating something like uh, I'm sure you guys have used, some of the application in which you can enter how much you have spent on some particular thing. Let's say you spent on food, let's say 10 rupees, 20 rupees. You can add that and that will be added, right? And let's say on travel you spend 100 rupees like that. So something like that we're going to be creating, and we will be also understanding how to keep that data preserved. How can we can save that data in some file also. So file handling we'll be understanding on the go. When we are working on this project, we're going to be understanding the file on the go, file handling on the go. Okay, okay, so cool. So we're going to be let me just delete this file first. Let me just create a new folder over here, this one. Okay, so let me just create a new folder over here, and I will be calling it project. Okay, now inside this, I will be creating my file that in which I'll be writing the code. So I'm just going to call it expense tracker py. So I'll be writing the code inside this expense tracker.py. Okay. First things first, what are we going to be doing is we're going to be understanding what this project demands. Okay. So I will be having few things in this. I will be having some functionalities in this application. I'll be having a functionality to add my expense. Okay. I can put something, some data. So maybe you can think of like, there is something like, let me just try to draw like an outline or something, right? I'll say that, uh, just a second. So I'm going to sing adding expense. So what do I need if I want to create the functionality to add expense in my application? Maybe I can say that I can be asking for the user on the date on which he have like done the expenses. So maybe I can ask for date. Maybe I can ask for the category on which they have spending the expenses. So I can add the category. I can ask the category also. I can also ask for the description, that what if you want to add the description what the expense was all about, right? And then I can also ask for the amount. So these are the things that I can be asking if I want to create the uh, I want to create the adding functionality in a expense tracker application, right? So let's create something around add expenses. Then I can also have the category in which I can view expense. Let's say you want to view how much you have spent, right? So you can just view around you can also view around the category also, and you can also view the total expense, something like that. Okay. So maybe there is a view expense I can create for the entire expense amount. Maybe I can also create another functionality in which I can add view expense by category. Okay, this is all something I can create. So for the particular category, how much I'm spending on the food on every month, how much I'm spending on the travel every month, that is something that I can create over here, right? So let's see. This is just like outline I've created. I can add something. I can delete. I can create something in the file. I can add that in the file. I can look into the file. I can print those values out. So this is something that we're going to be doing, right? So let's start. So basically, first thing I'm going to be doing is let's start with the very simple functionality that is adding expenses in my file. Okay, so I'm going to create a method over here that will help me to add the expense. Okay, so I'm going to call add expenses. So I'm going to be creating this method over here, not with the brackets like this. Now, how will my expenses will be added? So I told you guys that there will be some things that I want to ask from the user. So first of all, I want to ask for the date, that on which date they have spent. Okay, I want to ask for the category, which is the category like maybe it is it food, is it travel, is it transportation, is it entertainment, what is the category? Then maybe some description of their expenditure and the amount they have spent. Okay, so these are the things I need. So first I will be asking for the input, the date they have spent, right? So I'm going to say input, and I'm just going to ask the user enter the date, and then I can also specify the format in which they want to give the input as. So I'm going to say dd mm. Okay, just to keep the things clear with the user. Okay, next come the category. So I'll also be taking the input for the category. So I need it in the string only, right? So I'm going to ask the user enter the category. Now I can give some hints to the user. I'm just going to say example, food, travel, uh, something like, you know, entertainment. Okay. So like this. This will be the prompt to the user. Next, I'll just ask the user to input some description over here. So I'm just gonna say enter the description. Okay. And then the amount. So I'm just gonna say input, enter the amount. Okay. Now the amount that I want, it can be in decimals also. So I'm gonna do the type conversion over here. Like it is not in string. I need to convert it. So I'm gonna say I'll be creating a float. So whatever the input that the user gives me, that will be converted into a float. Okay. So yeah. Next up, I would say that this is something, these are the information that I want from the user. Okay. Now, whatever the things that I get, I need to store it in the file. Now, the things that I want to store it in the file will be in the form of string, right? So I'm going to say that whatever the things I will get, expense. Okay. This should be expense. They will be stored in this variable expense over here, and I will be storing them in the form of string. So I'm gonna use the string formatter again. So I'm gonna say f, and over here I'll be formatting my string. So whatever the date that I have will go in this placeholder over here. Okay. Then whatever the category that user inputs will go over here in this category. Then whatever the description the user gives me will go over here, and whatever the amount the user inputs will go over here, and then I will be adding a line break just to go in the next line in the uh, console, in the terminal. So backslash n for the next line. Okay. So yeah, this is something, whatever the user inputs will be saved in this expense variable over here. Now, next up, I would be wanting to save the things in the file, right? So I'll say how to save the expense to file. Now, this is the task. First of all, we need to understand how to create files in Python. Okay. So whenever we are dealing with files, I need to import one module that is known as OS. With the help of this module, I'll be able to deal with the files. Okay. So I'm gonna say I'm just gonna create a, a variable over here. Let's call it. Let's create an expense file. Okay. So I'm gonna be basically saying that there is no file right now, but whenever I try to open a file, if the file doesn't exist, it is gonna create a new file for me. So I can just simply write a file name over here. Let's call it expenses.txt. Right now, there is no file such as expenses.txt, right? I don't have any file like this. But whenever I try to open the file with the file handling in the Python, it is going to create a file for me. And this file is going to be accessed via this variable over here. Okay. So this is what going to happen over here. Okay. So how would I deal with files in Python? I would be dealing with opening, closing, reading, writing of the files. I need to use this block of code. I'm going to say with. Okay. I'm going to using this with, and then there is a method called open. Okay. Now here I will be writing which file I need to open. So I need to, I'm going to say I need to open expense file. Okay. And then we need to give the flag of the file. So like when we are, sorry, mode, right? So when we are opening the file, in which mode we want to open it. So there are different modes we have. We have append mode, we have read mode, we have write mode, we have binary mode, we have all the different modes, right? But right now, what we are doing over here is we are just trying to like add something in the file, right? We are basically writing in the file. But when we do the writing in the file, the write is gonna, oh, like it is gonna just say there is something in the file. Let's say there is written hello world in the file. Then I try to write my name. So it is gonna replace the hello world. So I don't want to write in the file. I want to append in the file, right? By append, I means I want to, let's say I have added expense one, then I need to add expense two. So I want expense one to be still there. I don't want it to be get overwritten by expense two. So will be opening the file in the mode A. A means appending. Okay. So that's how you will open the file. and then I'm just going to write as file. So this is like the variable. I have opened the file, my file. So this file is now going to be opened up. If it is not already there, it is going to be created when I run the code, right? So I hope this is clear what this line is doing over here. And I'm just going to say, when I open the file, I want file dot, I need to, I need to write. Okay, I need to write in the file. What do I want to write in the file? The expenses, right? The expenses that I have over this expense over here, I want to write this data in the file, right? So that's how I will be doing it. As simple as that. And once I have successfully done all the tasks, I will just write a message over here. I'll just say expense, expense, expense added successfully. Okay. Yeah, I just stored that in the variable and then just wrote that over here. You can also do it the way you have written. That's also fine. Okay. So yeah, this is the simple method of adding expense in the file. I hope things are clear. If there is any doubt, please write in the chat. Okay. So whenever I create whenever I create the logic, how will I run? That is going to be coming later on. Right now I'm just explaining the idea that how we are creating. When I am creating this file, like what are the logics of the all different methods I can add in the expense tracker. Okay. Okay. So next up, I need to create another method that will help me to view the expenses. So view expense. Okay. Oh, start remove system 32. I'm confused. How to do this code? Okay. I'll come back to you, Aditya. So yeah, view expense. Okay. This method is going to help me to view all the expenses that I have over here, right? So whatever the things that has been already created in this file, in the file, this expense.txt, I just need to uh, I just need to read everything out of it. So now we'll understand how to read out this thing. Okay. Right, Aditya. Same. Yeah. So we're going to be doing this way. Okay. Uh, how do I view? Basically, I have to iterate on all the things that are available, all the strings that are available in the file. I need to just go through them and I need to check. Uh, Maybe if I want to go to the all the expenses, all the categories will be covered. If the expenses of food, of travel, of entertainment, whatever, everything is going to be covered over here, right? So I'm going to say over here with open and I want to open expense file, but now in the read mode. So I'm going to write R for that. R is the mode, read mode. Okay. And I'm going to open it as file. So I'll be doing all the operation on this file over here. So what I would be doing is first I will be, so I'm going to be showing it on the console also. So I'm just, first of all, I'm just going to write print and format string formatter again, and I'll be just saying uh, date and category, and then I have description. Okay, and then I have amount. So these were the four things that I have in the file, right? So I'm just going to display this first. It is actually a good thing that before doing this, I can put a check over here, right? I can basically say if this file is not available, if there is no such file exist, I cannot read that. So before opening this, I can do one thing that I can put a check of this. I'm going to say not, if this is not available. So where? So I need to go to the path of this. So I can say How do I check path? It is in OS. Yes, os dot path and dot. We have a method over here exists. Okay. No, I'm not getting the path actually. I'm just checking if it exists or not. Okay. So which thing I'm checking over here? Expense file. If this is not there, I'm just gonna say print no expenses. Sorry, I'm basically checking if there is nothing inside that. Okay. Right. The things that are existing. If there is nothing, I need to display anything, right? So if nothing exists, I'm just gonna say no expenses found. Okay. Yeah. And then I'll just return. Then I will, if these things are available, if one entry has been done in the file, then I'll just display this, right? So yeah, I can then iterate in this. So I'm going to say I'll be using a for loop. So I'm going to say for line in file. So line is a variable. I will be iterating this in the line, in the file actually. And what do I need to do is I just can say over here. Uh, uh, so I need to go to the date and yeah, so for I will be basically saying over here that if I go to the date part, if I try to display the date, I need to first maybe first I'll remove the white spaces on the left and right side because when the user has input, it might be a bit spaces on the left and right. I just want to display it clearly. So to remove that, I'll be using strip method strip. Okay, and I need to do it on all the variables. So I'm going to say date and category also. Uh, so I'm going to create a category variable here also, description also. Okay, I'm going to create amount also. Okay, all these variables I will be first saying line dot strip. Okay, so first I'll do this, and once this is I have cleared the output like this, then I will be doing another method over here. I'm going to say dot split. Okay, so I'll be dividing them in. So just to display them properly in the like on below the date, I just want to display the date that is being entered. Right. I'm going in the file. I'm checking for the date and how is the date stored over there. It is there separated by commas. Right. So I can say split with this character comma. So wherever I found the comma, it will gonna split from that. Okay, that's it. That's it. Now I can just simply say, I can just simply print this. Again, I'll be using a string formatter and I'm gonna say the placeholder I'll be creating. So whatever I'm getting over from here after this operation, I'm gonna display that. So first I need to display the date. So date is gonna come below this date thing over here, right? And then I can display the description. Okay, then I can display the category over here. The category over here. Then I can display the description over here. Okay, description. And then I can display the amount. So amount. You can also write the currency before this, right? You can also write something like this. So the amount will be displayed like this. Okay. So yeah, this is it, I guess. Only this much is needed. We have got the date, category, description, amount, and I'm just also printing them. Yeah, okay. What all you can also do is, let's say this category, this date, this description, this amount. You can also basically mention over here how much space you want to reserve for these categories to get displayed, right? You can do that it with like this. Let's say I want to display 10 spaces for the category. So you can say colon and 10. So 10 spaces will be reserved for the category to display at, right? If you want to display more space for the description, you can say over here 15, right? So that will be reserved. You can reserve for the amount also. You can reserve for the date also, like this. Okay, cool. So next up, this is view expense. Next up, we have view expense by the category. So we need to create this now. So what difference will it make when I'm trying to view the expense by the category? I need to basically, uh, I can ask the user to enter which category you want to look the expenses for. So maybe he can enter food, right? So I will check if the food is present in my file, and I will just calculate all the values among the food, and I'll just display the total of that. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll create a method over here. Let's say view expenses by category. Okay. So yeah, this method over here will first ask the user that which category you are trying to find the expenses for. Okay. Then it is going to do that. So first thing first, I'm just going to copy this line because first I'll check if that exists or not. If exists, then I'll be doing the print end, right? So yeah, uh, this should be inside this. So indentation. Okay. So let's say first thing I need to do is I need to ask the user for the category, right? So first I'll come out of this loop over here, and first I will be asking, I'll be creating a variable over here. Let's call it category filter. Okay. So I will be first asking the user to enter the category to filter by. So I'm going to first ask for the category over here. Okay. Now the category can be food, the category can be entertainment or anything, right? So when the user is entering, I have no control on how the user is entering the food. He can be saying food in all caps. He can be saying food in F is small and all the double O D is capital. Like I don't have control on that, right? So I need to compare that food with this food variable I have created over here. Like for example, where was it? Okay, the category that I've created over here, right? So let's say this is the one that the food is entering, right? So I am basically need to compare all the food, right? So maybe what I can do is I can keep it simple. I can say that whatever the user enters, I will first convert it into lowercase, right? And then I'll compare, right? Before splitting it down, I'll first convert it in the lowercase. It'll be easier for me, right? So yeah, I'll first ask the user over here, what is the category they want to fill in with, they want to check the expenses for. And then what I'll do is, and now I'll iterate in my file. So I'm going to say for line in file. Okay. So with this variable, I will be iterating in the file over here. Okay. So first what I'll do is I can just simply copy this line again, and I can just print everything over there. Okay. And then I can run a for loop inside it. So I'm going to say for line in, sorry, it, just a second. This should be over here. Okay. I just made a mistake. So yeah, category first, I created the category over here. I first need to open the file next before this phone. So I'm going to say with, uh, open. So I need to do the same thing, right? But right now, what I'm doing is I am opening the file as a read only. So I can use the same thing over here, right? So this line of code will be same. I'm opening it with read mode. Okay. And then I need to display this also. So I'm just going to do this also over here. Okay. And then I'll be running a for loop. So I'm going to say now for line in file. Okay. So I need to run a for loop now. So I need to store the date, category, description, amount, and I'll also be like splitting it, and then I'll be, you know, like segregating them with help of commas. So same line again. Okay, like this. Now what I need to do is I need to make sure that all the things that I'm comparing, they all are in the lowercase, right? So what I can do is I can say if uh, category dot lower, okay, equals to category filter dot lower, okay. So if this is true, then I am gonna print f, like formatting the string again, and whatever the date I have, the category, okay, and description, and amount, okay. And I also need to create a total variable that is store the total amount of that category. So I'm going to say total initially it will be 0 point 0. I'm going to create it as float. And over here, I'm going to say in my total plus equals to the amount. And I will convert this amount into float also. So type conversion. So yeah, that's it. Okay. So then I'm going to come out of the loop, out of this. And then at the end, I'm just going to print. I'm just going to add a line break first. And then I'm going to say total spent on whatever the category I'm looking for. So it will going to be displayed over here, category, and not the category, category filter, right? So category filter, and then I'm going to display the total. Okay. Now let's try to run this. And now in or no, I have like multiple methods over here, right? I have multiple methods. So what I'll do now is you might have seen in other languages also that we have this main method that will execute the code, right? That is the entry point of the code. So in Python also I have a method that can help me to start the execution point of the code, right? So the name of the method is main only here. So I'm going to create a main method over here, and this will be like I'm just going to show you, just wait for a bit. I'm just going to create a main method over here, right? This is like the same thing that we have studied in C++, Java, and all, right? We have to create a method from which the execution starts. So let's say the name of the method is main over here, right? I'm going to say while true, okay? So first I'm going to be giving the output again and again and again. So I'm going to be giving the output to the user. First, I'll be giving, I'm going to say personal expense tracker, like the heading of this. And then I'm going to print something like the first is add expense. Okay. And I need four things over here. So second would be uh, view all expense. Okay. Then I have the third thing over here. Third can be view expense by category. And then maybe I can have another option over here that will say exit, to exit out of the loop, right? So these are the options that will be displayed to the user, and he can choose anything, right? So I'm going to say there will be a variable choice, and I'll be asking for the choice of the user. Okay. So I'm just going to ask the user choose an option and between 1 and 4. So like this, I'm going to be displaying. Okay. Now I just need to say if the choice is equals to I created this as a string. You can choose to format it integer and then you can use the integer over here, but it's okay. This is just a string. I can directly go with the string over here. So I'm going to say if the choice is one, then what I need to do? So in the case of one, I need to add. So I need to call this method over here, add expense, right? So if the choice is one, I'll say add expense. This method will be called. Okay. Else if, sorry, elif, if my choice is two, in that case, I need to view all expenses, right? So I'll be calling the method view expense. Okay. elif, if the choice is equals to three, in this case, I need to view all expenses. So I'm going to say view expenses by category. So I'm going to call view expenses by category. Okay. And then if the choice is four, so that means I have to exit out of the loop. So I'll say elif, elif, if the choice is four, okay. If the choice is four, in that case, I just need to exit out of this. So I'm just going to just print a message that we are exiting out of the loop. And I'm just going to say, uh,
Hi everyone. I guess there is some internet issue. Please be there. Like he will be joining in like 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. Meanwhile, if you guys have doubts regarding assignments or anything, you can drop in the comments. Okay, in the chat. I will be there. I will help you guys if you are not able to access your assignment. Aditya, for goodies and all, I guess you need to be like quite attentive on cipher scores. So if you have points, if you have cipher points, so you guys can definitely redeem the T-shirt or the goodies. Okay. So break लिया क्या is the, by the way guys, break लिया क्या is the best T-shirt or the error one? Or any recommendation कुछ चाहते हो कि we do something unique, so drop it, we'll make the design and we'll list it over cycle schools. We are is best. Okay, any suggestion, like if you want any favorite quote जो कि written over your t-shirt, so we can try. अगर community को अच्छा लगता है, we'll drop a poll in the community. If they like the code, so definitely we'll design and upload it over there. Okay, I guess. Hi, sir. Am I audible?
Sanskar, can you hear me? Yeah, sorry, I
Yeah,
guess there was a fluctuation in the internet.
got it, got it, sir. So no issues. Meanwhile, students are asking T-shirt मिलेगा क्या? तो we
Okay,
are
okay.
discussing on that only. कुछ नए designs आएंगे तो I am asking कुछ suggest कर दो. We'll make definitely new designs.
Sure, sure. The previous prints were very good actually. Yeah, so we should be, thinking more students की oriented कुछ और designs
Right,
जो उनको अच्छे लगे. Yeah,
right, right. Especially they are telling break लिया क्या is the best one.
yeah. That was a good one.
Okay. So over to you, sir. You can share the screen and we can continue
Sure.
with the session. By the way, guys, comment कर देना. I will pick your comments and कोई ऐसे random quote जो आप चाहते हो टी-शर्ट पे प्रिंट हो जाए, we'll pick it up and we'll run the community poll. Then we can see कि हम इसे list कर सकें. Over to you, sir. You can continue with the session.
Yeah, it's almost over. So yeah, just it'll just take 5 more minutes. Yeah. Okay, guys. So yeah, we were saying that if the choice is 4 over here, then I just need to say exiting. So I'm just going to print a message, exiting the expense tracker. Okay, just say goodbye. Okay, so else means that if the choice is not 1, 2, 3, 4, then what I need to do, I can just simply say that the choice the user has entered is not correct, right? So I can say invalid choice. Please enter a number between 1 and 4. Okay, so just keeping the edge case. Okay. Now, if I want to run this method over here, how do we run it? How do we run the main method? We have already created this main method. So if I call the main method over here, and if I try to just run the code, so you see, I got these things over here, the add expense, view all expense, expense by category and all, right? So let's say if I start, so just take a look over here, okay? Take a look on this side. I have this project folder over here. I have the expense tracker.py. Okay. Now, as soon as I say that I want to add the expense, I'll just say my choice is one over here. It is asking for the date. So I'm just gonna say today is 22 09 2024. So date. Category, let's say food, and description is just like testing, and amount, let's say I spend 100 rupees. Okay. So 100. So you see over here, this file has been created. Why? Because told you guys in the beginning that when I don't have the file created by this name expense.txt, when I am calling this thing open in the append mode, if the file is not present and I'm writing in the file, it is going to create the file first. Okay. So if I go to this expense.txt, you see the things that I have created has been saved in this. Okay, this has been saved in this. And if I try to go again, and let's say I try to say view all expenses, I'm going to say two. So over here also, I'm basically printing that, right? So over here also, I'm getting this uh, date, category, description, amount, and I'm getting all the values over here of the particular. Say I want to add one more entry. So I'm going to say add expense. I'm going to say the date is some random, let's say 12/07 uh, 2024. Okay. And let's say travel, and description is again traveling, and amount is, let's say, 200. So you see one more entry has been created in the file and it is being saved in the file. Okay. So now if I try to go over here again, let's say I want to say view all expenses over here. So now I am getting the expenses that has been added in my file. I am getting this. One more thing I can do just to make things a bit more clear over here. I can basically say I'm just gonna go in the this one view all expenses. This one, yeah. So I'm just gonna go over here, and when I'm saying that with the open over here, let me just delete this for now. I need to add some, some separate that will separate the line, like the segregation line, right? So I can print like a hyphen over here. I can draw a line like this, but it's better. What I can do is I can just write one hyphen. I'll say multiply 50. This is just multiply this thing 50 times. Okay. And same thing, and I can do over here also like this. Okay. So now if I run the code, if I try to now say view expenses over here, so this line is created over here. I can say 100 also, but basically like a segregated line. Like these are the headings over here that I have, and then these are the things that I have added in the file. Okay. So that's how we have successfully created a expense tracker. And just to get more creative around this, you can, instead of using a TXT file, you can create a CSV file, right? That is your, you know, not a homework, but that is like something that you can explore, have fun around. Okay. But just this is like a very good project that we have created over here that is actually doing some practical application, right? So yeah, I guess you guys have understood, and that's it. That's it. We have successfully created this, and Sanskar, are you there?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Okay. Got it. So, got it, sir. मतलब project तो I have seen. It's a nice मतलब the nice project, and I was not
yeah. It's
expecting
very
कि हम we
practical
are going
project
to.
also, right?
I was not expecting कि हम save भी कर रहे हैं the data and all. So
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
txt file you have showed, right? So I was a bit confused this time, but it's quite interesting and it is actually helpful. So
Yeah, it's actually helpful also for the students if they want to show it somewhere in their
right,
in some interviews and all. So you
right,
have actually made a practical application which you can modify a bit also. This is just a CMD, we have just created it in the command line, right? But yes, if you know about bit about some frameworks and all, obviously you can take this forward and build a UI based application also.
right, right. So sir, like before winding up the session, एक दो questions थे मेरे. I actually want to
Yeah,
ask. Like let's say the people who attended this boot camp, ठीक है? तो अभी they are going to deep dive into Python, right? If they are into it, Python, तो वो जाएंगे थोड़ा पढ़ेंगे, explore करेंगे, right? तो any suggestion in terms of कि किस टाइप के projects और build करने चाहिए to make
yeah.
a better command on Python?
Yeah, so basically, see, Python, why you are learning Python? First question is that and the answer would be you are learning because you want to go in the field of data, right? That is where you gonna be going, right? Uh, so uh, we have a question also, project
Yeah,
interview
yeah.
में दिखाऊंगा तो. No, Aditya, it's not about ki if you show this project in your interview, then your selection will be there. It's just like it's like a highlight that you can add in your resume that you can showcase in the interview. It's just about that. It's not like you will get selected, right? So yeah, most of the people, those who are doing Python, the main agenda of learning Python is because they are looking to go in the field of data, the AI,
Hmm.
ML, all those stuff, right? So I would
Right.
say learning Python is not that much complex. Just don't spend too much time on learning, just stuck with the Python because Python itself is not gonna get you that dream job. You need to Python is the base. You need to be clear with all the fundamentals of Python, but then you need to go further and you need to see what in which thing you want to go, right?
Right.
So
And
maybe if you want to go for the yeah.
yeah,
So just
continue.
like I'm just telling that you need to learn more libraries if you want to go to the data analyst and all, then you need to learn those visualizing the tools that we have. So basically, I would say the projects that you're going to be creating should be around the things that you are looking to work in, right? Instead of just making the projects of simple Python,
Mhm.
learn Python and then go forward.
Got it. Got it. Got it. I hope students को ये समझ में आया होगा. There is one more thing which I actually want to ask, like for the Python, because Python में बहुत सारे libraries आते हैं, frameworks आते हैं, right? So if someone actually want to pursue development as well, like development career जो चाहता है with Python, so there are two things जो बहुत ज़्यादा highlight होते हैं, which is Django and Flask. राइट
Mhm.
बहुत ज़्यादा मतलब इनका डिमांड आता है जैंगो डेवलपमेंट फ्लास्क डेवलपमेंट सो एनी सजेशन इफ यू वांट टू गिव अ सजेशन कि जैंगो करना चाहिए या फ्लास्क करना चाहिए व्हाट शुड बी इफ यू वांट टू सजेस्ट एनीथिंग इट्स जस्ट अ
So
रैंडम
see,
क्वेश्चन या
yeah, yeah. No, see, again, same thing. Like, why Django, why Flask? That is the
गॉट
first thing to ask, right? Obviously, you can do, but
इट
why you want to do it? If
गॉट
you
इट
are only doing it the sake of learning a new technology, or maybe if you're just learning, just doing it the sake of you will add one more thing in the resume, I would say, obviously they are good things. Like, okay, you should know some framework. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying that uh, if you are just doing you to showcase more skills in your resume, I would say if you want to do it, learn it, and then maybe make some projects on that, right? They are relevant. Some things are already some application some things are already there in the market that are using these technology, right? So it's
Right.
it's relevant. I'm not saying it's not irrelevant, but first thing is that uh, why you want to do why do you want to do Django? Why do you want to learn the framework? That
Mhm.
first of all, ask that. Is this something that excites you? Is it something you're looking to work do a job in, right?
Mhm.
So if yes, then surely learn these frameworks. And the best way to learn frameworks and best way to implement and showcase the things is by building something around it, right? So if you're learning, don't just learn it, apply that, right?
Right.
Apply that knowledge and build something out. Like whatever we have understood yesterday, we applied that knowledge today. And that's how you learned it, right? That's
Got
how
it.
you understood. Okay. So whatever the things that you are doing, don't just read it from the documentation and leave it. Apply
Mhm.
it somewhere and then leave it. It's okay.
Mhm.
You know, you will
Got
get a hold of it. It's not like you will remember everything, but whatever you are learning, just do the practical implementation of that, and that's it. You will,
got
with the experience, you will get a hold of things.
got it. Got it. A last quick question, then we will finally wrap up this entire bootcamp, Python bootcamp. मतलब generally we used to ask this question from many मतलब mentor, instructor as well as alumni when we have one session. Ki, what exactly do you think is the impact of AI in the
Impact of
use?
AI.
Yeah, in terms of let's say student is there, right, and he is using constantly AI अगर वो ज़्यादा टाइम यूज़ कर रहे हैं, so will it be creating an impact कि वो एक कैपेबिलिटी छोड़ देते हैं टू रीडिंग आर्टिकल या डॉक्यूमेंटेशन या
I would
फिर
say AI is a necessary evil. I would say that.
ओके ओके
So necessary evil as in, yes, will be needing it, but because we have so much of, or like everything is there on the plate, so especially for the students, they
राइट
have, uh, they have, they are not putting that much effort in thinking how to write the design of the code. They are just going to the GPT. They are doing using the these Gemini and all, and they are just getting the code out of it. They're not stressing themselves enough to to
बिल्ड द
increase their
लॉजिक
brain power, they are not training their brain muscles. So
राइट
I would say it is good if you are working, if you want to do your work faster, if you want to build something quickly, right? It is
राइट
good. But when you are learning, I would say don't use that much. Maybe rely on search, for finding on internet, finding on Google, and then
राइट
implementing it instead of just asking the GPT to write everything for you. So for students, I guess it is a necessary evil. And I would say try to not use it that much when you are learning things. You can use it when you are going to be working, when you are making something out, you want to deliver something. It's okay. You can use it for your help.
गॉट
Okay.
इट
So yeah,
ओके
I guess that's it.
got it got it got it sir. Thank you so much for joining this session. And to be honest, the session is actually really interesting and मतलब थोड़ा extra जानने को मिला about actually how exactly Python works and projects and all. Just one thing which you want to say to student, anything, any last thing which you want to say student, if you have
Yeah,
anything.
I just want to say, ki, guys, learning new languages, new technology, and everything is fine. I just want the same thing I want to repeat again. I just want you guys to do the practical implementation. Okay, just whatever you learn, even this boot camp that we had, this is not about making you guys learning the Python from scratch again. This was about how to understand things and how to implement that in the project, and that's how you understand. That's how you think. Yes, that's how you learn, right? So I would strongly like say to you guys that whatever you are learning, whatever you are uh, looking to learn, anything that you are going to be doing in the future, uh, understand it, apply it somewhere, and that's it.
Got
Okay,
it.
so yeah, things are very easy. Like when you are in the job, when you are working in professionally, that things are easy over there, right? It's
got
more like you have to get the work done. So now AI is there to help you out, but
it. Right,
AI will not do anything if you don't understand what you are writing. If you're reading some code, it is not going to help you in that, right?
right.
So the creativity is yours. Be creative.
Got it, got it.
Yeah.
समझ गया सर. So the thing is कि do we have any assignments this time, like for the last day? Do we have assignments?
Yeah. So we have the same assignment that we have done in the class,
Okay.
right? Students have to basically make an expense tracker, and
Mhm.
it's their wish to add more functionalities in that. But we have covered like a simple project. This project is
Mhm.
basically like something they have to make and they have to submit.
Got it, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is it for today's session. I guess there is lots of chat. They are talking about Cypherthon. Cypherthon. Do you guys know about Cypherthon? So to be honest, we actually loved Cypherthon. मतलब हमने जो भी चीज़ें की Cypherthon 2.0 में, and I guess sir you are also there, right? So आपका
Yeah.
भी experience जो रहा,
It was great.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
Waiting for the
so
next hackathon. Yeah.
definitely will come with another, and Cypherthon 3.0 आएगा, and will come with new concepts, new excitements, new goodies, बहुत सारी चीज़ें होंगी. So stay tuned for that. We are going to announce very soon about the hackathon and all. Okay. Meanwhile, guys, if you have any doubt, you can ask, or else we can wind up with the session. I guess there is no other questions. Okay, there's one thing. Ki next bootcamp on AI and OpenCV. Okay, we have noted Aditya. We will be taking this as a consideration, and definitely will come up with another bootcamp. So thank you so much, Adhiraj sir, for joining and giving the valuable time. Okay, thank you so much,
Sure.
and
Thank you,
definitely will.
Sanskar. And yeah, thank
Yeah,
you everyone for joining. And I'll see you guys soon in the next workshop.
yeah, definitely. Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining the session.
Okay. Okay. Bye,
Okay,
Sanskar.
bye, sir. So, guys, I have seen your chat. You guys are telling Cypherthon, Cypherthon. We actually loved the Cypherthon. जो experience हमारा रहा था, that is really good and like super new था हमारे लिए. And that is our first offline hackathon. हमारी से गलतियाँ भी हुई थी, I know that, but still it was a fun and अच्छा खासा learning रहा था. But definitely will come with another uh, hackathon. Meanwhile अभी हम कुछ और boot camps भी लेके आएंगे which are specific to you demand जो आप करोगे, either it based on AI product, based on web development, anything आप बोलो, we will definitely work upon that and will bring the boot camp as soon as possible. Okay, thank you so much for joining, guys. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you, Anu. Then thank you, Sidra. Right? Sorry if I'm pronouncing wrong name. And thank you everyone. जिनके चैट्स दिख रहे हैं, I'm mentioning. बाकी कोई दिल पे मत लेना. Okay. Thank you, Daulat. Daulat, right? Yeah. Thank you, Daulat. Thank you everyone for joining session. Thank you, Nitesh. Thank you, Kamal. सो बस आप असाइनमेंट सबमिट कर देना. आई विल बी शेयरिंग एंड अपडेटिंग यू गाइस एज सुन एज असाइनमेंट विल गो लाइव. ओके, and work on the assignment, and as soon as you guys upload the assignment, we will be sharing your certificate in most probably 3-4 days. Okay, because we need to evaluate the assignments as well. It will take a bit of time, but we will constantly update you in the group. Okay, thank you so much for joining everyone. Have a great weekend. Sorry, weekend खत्म हो गया. Monday is coming. So yeah, back to your routine. So bye everyone. Hope you enjoyed the session. Bye. Yes, Kamal. We will also rate your assignments, and we'll share the feedbacks as well. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Bye everyone. Bye bye. Sorry. Bye.